Ever bought a tool to save money, only to have it fail when it mattered most? You walk into Harbor Freight with a budget and a plan. You need a drill, a few wrenches, maybe a jack. The bright orange signs promise massive savings, and it feels like a smart move. Spend less, get the job done, walk out ahead. That confidence does not last for everyone, because some of the tools on those shelves are not bargains at all. They are money traps dressed up as deals, and a few of them are genuinely dangerous. We are talking about tools that lose calibration, snap under load, or quit without warning. Tools that look fine in the package and fail the first time precision actually matters. Not inconveniences, but failures that strip bolts, damage vehicles, or turn simple repairs into expensive problems. A bad torque wrench can crack engine components. A poorly made ratchet can round fasteners beyond recovery. A power tool that dies mid-job can cost more in delays and replacements than a better tool ever would. Today, we are counting down the 10 most overpriced tools sold at Harbor Freight. Not the cheapest tools, the worst value tools. The ones that promise savings and quietly deliver frustration, risk, or real damage. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, Pittsburgh Pro Digital Torque Adapter. $60 for a device that's supposed to click when you hit the right torque spec. Sounds useful, right? Except the sensor drifts. Within weeks, sometimes days, it starts reading 5 to 10% off. And here's the nightmare scenario. Thanks for watching the Mobusing something. Thanks for watching. You don't know it's wrong until your lug nuts are either too loose or you've stretched your wheel studs. Think about that for a second. You're paying premium money for a tool that should give you precision. Instead, you're getting a glorified guess. A digital lie in a plastic case. For that same $60, you could buy an actual beam-style torque wrench from a reliable brand that'll stay accurate for years. The Pittsburgh Pro version? It's betting your safety on a sensor that can't keep its promises. Number 9. The Icon Ratcheting Wrench Set. Harbor Freight launched Icon as their premium line. Chrome vanadium steel. Lifetime warranty. They want you to believe this is snap-on quality at a third of the price. And sure, some Icon tools are solid, but the ratcheting wrenches? You're paying $80 to $100 for a set that flexes under load, has a clunky ratchet mechanism, and feels cheaper than a Craftsman set you can grab at Lowe's for less. The problem isn't that Icon is bad, it's that it's overpriced for what it actually delivers. Harbor Freight built this brand to make you feel like you're getting professional-grade equipment. You're not. You're paying for branding and a warranty on a tool that's only marginally better than their budget line. It's the illusion of premium. The shadow of quality without the substance. Number 8. The Quinn Socket Set. Here's where Harbor Freight really starts playing games with your wallet. Quinn is supposed to be their mid-tier brand. Better than Pittsburgh, not as expensive as Icon. The problem? A 120-piece Quinn socket set costs about the same as a comparable Husky or Cobalt set, but the quality doesn't even come close. The sockets themselves are fine for light use, but the cases crack within months. The ratchets feel gritty like someone dumped sand in the gears. And the deep sockets? They're just deep enough to be annoying without actually reaching recessed bolts. You're paying for quantity over quality, and Harbor Freight knows it. They're betting you'll see 120 pieces and think you're getting a deal. You're not. You're getting a drawer full of mediocrity at a price that should buy you tools you can actually trust. Number 7. The Bauer Cordless Drill. Bauer is Harbor Freight's answer to Ryobi and Black & Decker. Budget-friendly, cordless tools for homeowners. And for some tasks, hanging pictures, assembling furniture, it's fine. But here's the trap nobody tells you about. A Bauer drill costs about the same as an entry-level Ryobi or a DeWalt on sale, but it doesn't have the battery ecosystem, the motor longevity, or the parts availability. You buy the Bauer drill thinking you're saving $20 or $30. Then you need a second battery, or the chuck starts slipping after a few months, or the trigger burns out after 6 months of light use, and suddenly you're stuck with an orphaned tool and a dead battery platform that nobody else uses. You didn't save money, you just delayed the inevitable expense of buying a real drill, and now you've wasted $100 on a tool that's collecting dust in your garage. Number 6. The Earthquake XT Impact Wrench. Now we're getting into the tools that'll make you question your entire purchase. The Earthquake XT is Harbor Freight's high-torque impact wrench. It claims 1,400 foot-pounds of torque. It's loud, it's heavy, and it costs around $180. Here's the brutal truth. That 1,400 foot-pounds, it's a fantasy number. Pure marketing fiction. In real-world testing, you're getting maybe 900 to 1,000 on a good day with a fresh battery. And the anvil, the part that actually connects to your socket, wears out fast. We're talking 6 months of regular use before you start noticing wobble and lost torque. For the same price, you could buy a Milwaukee or a DeWalt refurb that'll outlast the Earthquake by years and actually deliver the torque it promises. The Earthquake XT isn't just overpriced. It's a performance lie wrapped in brushless motor marketing. And every time you use it, you're fighting a tool that's pretending to be something it's not. Number 5. The Icon Torque Wrench. You'd think Harbor Freight's premium torque wrench would be the one tool they'd get right. It's not even close. The Icon torque wrench costs about $100 for the half-inch drive model. That's Tecton money. That's almost gear wrench money. And those brands? They're calibrated, they hold accuracy, and they don't drift after a few months of use. The Icon torque wrench starts great. Smooth click, solid feel, professional grade confidence, but give it a year. Maybe 2 if you're lucky. The internal spring loses tension, the click becomes mushy, and suddenly you're torquing your cylinder head bolts to close enough, which in engine work means you're asking for a blown gasket or a warped head. You bought peace of mind. What you got was a ticking time bomb, with a lifetime warranty that doesn't cover calibration, and recalibration costs almost as much as buying a new wrench. So you're stuck in a loop of buying, failing, replacing, all while thinking you saved money. Number 4. The Pittsburgh Pro Jack Stands. Let's talk about the tool that could actually end your life. In 2020, Harbor Freight recalled 1.7 million Pittsburgh Pro Jack Stands because the pulls were failing, the stands would collapse without warning. People got hurt, cars fell, bones broke. And while Harbor Freight issued a recall and replacement program, the damage to trust was done. Here's the thing that should terrify you. Even the new safe versions feel flimsy. The welds are inconsistent. The pins don't seat cleanly. And for what? To save 10 or 15 bucks compared to a set of Touring or OTC stands that have decades of proven reliability, your life is worth more than a Harbor Freight discount, period. Your car falling on you isn't a you get what you pay for moment. It's a tragedy that could have been prevented by spending $20 extra. There is no bargain worth that risk. Number 3. The Daytona Low Profile Jack. This one's controversial because a lot of people love the Daytona Jack. It's low, it's fast, it lifts 3 tons, and it costs about $200, which is cheap compared to a name brand floor jack. But here's what nobody tells you until it's too late. The seals fail. Not immediately, that would be too obvious. But within a year or 2 of regular use, the hydraulic fluid starts weeping. The jack loses pressure, and suddenly, you're pumping 15 times to lift a car that used to go up in 3 smooth strokes. You can rebuild the seals if you can find the parts, and you're comfortable taking apart a hydraulic jack. Most people aren't, so they throw it away and buy another one. Do the math. You didn't buy a $200 jack. You bought a rental that costs $200 every 2 years. Over a decade, you could have bought a professional-grade jack that would still be lifting cars when you're teaching your kids how to change oil. Number 2. The Quinn Ratchet. We already talked about the Quinn socket set, but the standalone ratchets deserve their own spot on this list because they're some of the most overpriced tools in the entire store. A Quinn half-inch ratchet costs about $40. That's the same price as a gear wrench ratchet, with a better tooth count, smoother action, and a warranty from a company that actually stocks replacement parts. The Quinn ratchet isn't bad, it just isn't good enough to justify the price. Harbor Freight is banking on you not comparing prices. They're betting you'll see 72 tooth and cushion grip and assume it's worth $40. It's not. It's a $20 ratchet with a $20 markup for a name you've never heard of and a quality level that doesn't match the price tag. Every time you use it, you'll feel that slight catch, that tiny bit of play, and you'll remember you paid premium money for a mid-tier tool. And number 1, the U.S. General Tool Cart. This is the one that'll make people mad because the U.S. General Tool Carts are some of Harbor Freight's most popular products. They're big, they're colourful, they hold a ton of tools, and they cost $400 to $600 depending on the size. Here's the reality that hits you 6 months after purchase. The drawer slides bind, the casters seize up after a year, the paint chips if you breathe on it wrong, and the sheet metal? It's so thin that if you load the top drawer with heavy sockets, the whole frame starts to bow like it's giving up on life. For that same $400 to $600, you could buy a used Snap-on or Matco cart that's built like a tank, rolls like a dream, and will still be working when your grandkids inherit your tools. Or you could buy a Husky or Craftsman cart that's actually designed to handle a loaded toolbox without folding in on itself. The U.S. General Cart isn't the worst tool at Harbor Freight, but it's the most overpriced for what it actually delivers. You're paying mid-range money for bottom-tier construction, and the only reason it's popular is because people don't realize how much better a real tool cart feels until they use one. It's like driving a budget sedan your whole life and then sitting in a luxury car. The difference isn't subtle, it's shocking. So what do you do with this information? If you already own some of these tools, you're not doomed. Use them for light tasks, don't trust them for critical jobs, and start planning your replacements before they fail at the worst possible moment. If you're about to walk into Harbor Freight, know this. Not every tool in that store is a bad deal. Their clamps? Great. Their moving blankets? Fine. Their tarps? Sure. But the second you start spending real money, $40, $60, $100 or more on a single tool, you need to compare prices and read reviews outside of YouTube comments and Reddit threads full of people defending their purchases. Because here's the truth, Harbor Freight isn't evil. They're just really, really good at making you think you're getting a deal when you're actually getting a gamble. The house wins, your wallet loses, and you're left standing in your garage wondering why you trusted a discount when your safety and your projects were on the line.